spy has recently discovered a plot to cripple the United States military by destroying our top academic institution, the Air Force Institute of Technology. Central to the scheme is the plan to hijack one of 5 space stations through an undercover operative and breach AFA security systems. We do know that the space stations have information critical in identifying and incriminating the operative, but we do not have direct access to the station's information systems. This is where you come in. We are offering a substantial reward to the first person to bring us the undercover operative and provide us with the necessary evidence to convict them in a court of law. How you gather the evidence is up to you. Good luck, agents.
Cyberspace Odyssey is a game about using networking skills to apprehend a fictional terrorist trying to hack the Air Force Institute of Technology in a small, visually appealing 3D environment. The 3D space contains a small, rotating planet Earth with 5 space stations surrounding it. Each station has a colored bubble around it to differentiate each team's home station. The colors are red, yellow, green, blue, and lastly cyan. These stations are not only where players' ships spawn, but also where solving each step of the mystery takes place. The player views the world from the cockpit of the ship and has multiple GUIs to aid them during play. These include information on game progress, each player's current score, current distance from other players' ships, and general ship information. In the center of the screen is text about what is currently taking place in the game and helps guide players through the mystery. Each opponent's ship is also surrounded by an opaque bubble to enhance distant visual contact of other players. The spaceship is controlled using a joystick identical to the one shown here. The left stick controls thrust and yaw, while the right stick controls pitch and roll. The right dial is a self-destruct button which resets the player back to his or her spawn station, but disables movement for 30 seconds as a penalty. The lever next to it is the emergency brake which disables the player's thrust. The back right lever is a windshield wiper which erases all text currently in the central GUI. The left dial is a laser shooter that lowers other ships' health if they make contact with the laser. At 0 health, the player loses control of their ship for 15 seconds. There are also some keyboard commands that can be displayed in-game by pressing the 2 key. These include turning on and off the bubble that surrounds each ship by pressing the insert key, calibrating the joystick with the C key, and hailing a space station with the H key. The player's task in this game is to gather enough evidence to find and convict the terrorist hiding on one of the space stations. To do this, the player must gather a clue from all 5 space stations to solve the puzzle and apprehend the terrorist. Gaining each clue takes some effort, however, and involves hailing each space station and conducting a conversation with it through the interception and sending of UDP packets. Not all packets are sent to the player themself, however, so eavesdropping on the whole wireless network may be necessary. Packets that come from the station usually contain puzzles that needs a response through a uniquely crafted packet of the player's own. After a successful conversation with a station, it will send the player a UDP packet containing the clue. To facilitate the interception and sending of packets, players are provided with tools that allow them to do this without expert training. The player can intercept packets through the use of a program called Wireshark. Wireshark displays packets that have been captured in transit from the wireless network and provides a copy of each packet's contents to the listener. Wireshark also contains boolean filters that the player can use to search for packets more easily. To send packets of their own in response, players have a C++ program called UDPPacketSender that allows them to craft a response packet containing information of their choosing. The program contains examples on how to craft a basic packet of information. The players may use these examples as a guide for crafting actual responses properly understood by the server. Once all 5 clues have been gathered and the player has figured out who the culprit is, they must go to the station containing the terrorist and initiate a final conversation with the station's security forces to successfully complete the game. This is an example of holding a conversation with a station, in this case as the yellow team talking to the red station. After the ship enters the red station's airspace, the player using Wireshark starts to capture and the ship's operator presses the H key to start a hail. Since the hail succeeded, the server sent a packet containing a puzzle back to the players. The Wireshark operator then stops the capture and proceeds to search for the captured packet. Once found, they relay the information to the packet crafter, who then crafts a packet to send back as a response. If this succeeds, then the server will again respond, else a new packet needs crafted. After the Wireshark operator finds this new packet, in this case containing an encrypted password, the team must figure out how to decipher the password. Encryption tools can be helpful in this process, and in this case solves the Caesar cipher and unveils a readable password. After the packet crafter sends this back to the station, The Wireshark operator again finds a new packet, but this time it contains an encrypted clue. At this point, the conversation with the station is finished, and the clue can be saved until later or solved immediately. In this case, the players again use encryption tools to decipher the clue, which is encrypted by a word substitution, and upon finding the correct keyword, the clue is revealed. Since players are technically advanced hackers racing against each other to finish the game first, each player has the ability to hack another player's spaceship. This is done by sending a packet to the server. This packet contains a command, also known as a hack, as well as the desired player the command should affect. Hacks only work if the target player is within 5 kilometers of the hacker's ship, and each hack has a duration of 15 seconds with a universal cooldown of 150 seconds. As an example, a player can have their thruster hacked to force them to fly backwards at a constant rate. All other movement systems are still controllable, but the thruster is jammed until the timer expires, so precise movement is next to impossible. Finishing the game first does not necessarily guarantee a player will be at the top of the leaderboard. Every step of obtaining a clue at each station and hacking awards points, but whoever does the step first gets more points than any subsequent players. The number of points earned by each subsequent player monotonically decreases to 0. The only way to lose points is to make a false accusation when apprehending the culprit, so hacking whoever is in first place can be a good way to catch up to them. To make things a little more interesting, some station data may be encrypted when received during communications as mentioned before. This includes methods such as Caesar ciphers, word substitutions, base 64 encoding, and prime number puzzles. Players are provided a utility called encryption tools that helps with some of these ciphers, but does not cover all of them. Who knows? Maybe ways to solve the other ciphers will present themselves during gameplay.